Hey bourbon fans, I'm Tim the Suburban Dad, here again to help you dads find some great bourbon. I'm continuing my series of which bourbon should you buy. In this case, I'm tackling events. I've really broken this down into two categories: whiskey tastings and everything else. Casual party, get together, dinner event, backyard barbecue, you name it. So let's start with the whiskey tasting. This is a crowd that's already interested in whiskey and bourbon. They're probably a little bit more experienced, a little bit more adventurous, so they're willing to try higher proof stuff. They're more interested in unique and special bottles, and they can appreciate them more, so you can feel good about yourself with sharing it with them. Okay, so in this case, I would want to go for something unique, right? Something that nobody else is going to be bringing to the event. Now, the less unique route would be like a store pick. So Knob Creek is a great solid option that everybody's always going to enjoy. That's pretty middle of the road. There's Yellowstone. Love those store picks. Those have always been great. Blue Note, uncut, unfiltered. That is definitely an under the radar bourbon that is fantastic. It's like 45 bucks and it's delicious. If you see one of those, grab it, share it with your buddies. They're going to love it. I'm a sucker for a good Maker's Mark store pick. Be on the lookout for those, and check out my video about decoding Maker's Mark labels so that way you know exactly what you're getting yourself into when you choose that store pick. And last but not least, Elijah Craig barrel proof store picks. These tend to be fantastic. I've got one sitting over there that I'm looking to dive into soon. Those are great to share with bourbon enthusiasts. Always a popular choice. Now let's talk about more under the radar bottles. Some that this crowd may have never heard of before, and you could be the standout cool guy bringing the unique tasty bottle to this event. You could bring a Still Austin cask strength, right there, about 45-50 bucks, and very vanilla, fruity, delicious. James E. Pepper barrel proof, really tasty stuff. About 107 proof-ish, 55-60 bucks, really great. Spicy, vanilla, caramel, fruity. Old Dominick, I know I've talked about them a bunch, but they're bottled in bond bourbon, so they're making their own bourbon now, and their bottled in bond is top-notch. Again, right in that 45-50 bucks range. Nice caramel, a little bit of leathery tobacco type notes in there. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. Here's one you might have forgotten about. It's been out for a while now. It might have lost some of its novelty and luster, but Barrel Dovetail. I'm not a huge barrel fan for whatever reason. It just doesn't strike me, but I loved Dovetail. Now this one's more pricey. It's up around 80-85 bucks, but it's finished in a wine cask, a rum cask, and something else, I believe. And it is super, super complex and rich and delicious. The crowd will love it, I promise. Even if they've had it before, they're going to remember how much they enjoy it. And of course, you got more of the limited releases like Booker's. You got Elijah Craig barrel proof. Those are ones that are still fairly attainable and are unique and delicious. As you can tell, I'm kind of a fan. Now, here's one that's not necessarily a limited release, but it is a limited time of year release, typically. Maker's Mark 46 cask strength. This is one of my all-time favorite bourbons. It is amazing. About 60-65 bucks. The flavor on this is truly fantastic. And it is barrel proof, but it's not, I get cask strength, but it's not knock your socks off. So many people can enjoy it. Okay, so that's for tasting. That's for more of your sophisticated crowd. What about just a mix of people? Maybe they enjoy bourbon, maybe they're new to it. What are you going to bring? Well, I narrowed it down to two categories within this category. Something low proof and something cheap. So low proof, this is something that more people are going to be able to enjoy because it's easier to drink, right? Michter's bourbon, about 48 bucks retail. It's right around that 90 proof point. It's so easy to drink. It's very mellow and yet flavorful. You don't want to miss out on the flavor. Old Dominick, Again, Tennessee whiskey. They're straight Tennessee whiskey. It's only 85 proof. I think this is the lowest proof whiskey I've had that I've loved. I love this whiskey. It is so easy to drink, and yet it is so flavorful. I've never found another whiskey that's this low proof that is as flavorful as this one. You cannot go wrong. It's about 35 bucks retail. Easy, easy win. And of course, a classic that everybody would recognize and appreciate, Buffalo Trace, coming in at 90 proof. Again, nice vanilla, caramel, a little bit of spice. Everybody recognizes it, everybody enjoys it. It's getting easier to find, although the price has crept up. It's more like 30 bucks these days. And of course, your middle of the road, vanilla ice cream type bourbon, Woodford Reserve. It's only 90.4 proof. It's got that sweet oak note to it. Very classic bourbon stuff. Easy for everybody to enjoy. And last but not least, the cheap bottles that you're willing to share with everybody. Because let's face it, you might have 10, 15 people in this crowd, and who the heck knows what kind of bourbon they drink, if they drink bourbon at all. So why would you bring your fancy bottles to them? Bring something that's cheap, but still good, that you could turn them on to bourbon. Okay? I'm not saying you shouldn't try and bring these people to the bourbon cult, but keep it reasonable. Wild Turkey 101. Now this one's a little dicey because people might recognize it from college days or whatnot, but it's still a solid bottle. Or Old Granddad Bottled in Bond. This one is a little more off the beaten path, so they might not recognize it, but you cannot go wrong with the flavor on that one. Absolutely cannot beat it for the price. 20 bucks? Easy. There you have it. Now you know what to bring with you to your next event, whether it's bourbon themed or not. And let me know in the comments, what is better than best bottle that you've tried at an event? What's your favorite go-to bottle to bring? Until next time, cheers.